it was pretty simple. You know, I had to beat my rivals and hope that they had a bit of bad luck. I was going to try and do everything I could to make all of that reality. You know, I was going to be a nightmare for them.
Mikey Doble, who is a quiet, unassuming guy out of the car, but a heck of a driver behind the wheel.
Certainly hoping that we'll get him his race win this year.
And Mikey's still perhaps one of the great underrated talents in the British Touring Car Championship.
But I'm pretty confident that we're going to have the tools in our armoury to take the fight to them and beat them.
Like, I want to be Mikey, but I want to be everyone.
Rather less impressive into the Mikey Doble's independent hopes take a lot.
Those soft tyres, but Mikey Doble coming through on.
Silverstone, whilst it isn't one of my favourite circuits to drive, I would say Silverstone is my best circuit as a driver. For some reason, I seem to always go well at Silverstone. Silverstone, the home of British motorsport, it's always one of my favourite places to go racing here. It's such a fantastic circuit to race at. Look forward to some exciting action come Sunday afternoon, and yeah, can't wait to get going tomorrow morning in FP1. Whilst luck hasn't always come my way on the Sunday at Silverstone, we've always had genuine pace there, and it's a track where I know that I can make a difference as a driver. We go out in FP1 and we weren't particularly quick, but the car actually felt quite drivable, so we were quite happy with that, and we plugged away throughout the day, and then it got to end of FP2 and we were just a little bit further up the road than where we had been at Donington and Knockhill prior to that. So like, okay, right, we've got a bit of a chance now going into qualifying. So we went into qualifying with high hopes, and in a dramatic Q1, I managed to get myself out of the bottom 6.
And Mikey Doble goes 6th at the expense of Josh Cook. Gap to Doble is 2/10. Doble to Cook, 61,000. Smiley is out, and worse, Smiley's in the pits.
Yeah, and perfect timing for Josh Cook anyway. He gets across the line with one more lap to go, as does Doble. So we have Rainford, Hill, Doble, Sutton, who also improved.
With seconds to spare, which got me through into Q2. And then as the track started to dry out just a little bit.
Mikey Doble behind him, and Doble's struggling as well. He's only 11th at the minute.
Yeah, we're not seeing many improvements at the moment. It's not down to weather.
Those that are missing out at the minute are Rowbottom, Moffat, Rainford, Taylor Smith, Doble and Sutton.
We just didn't quite have the raw pace to get us through to Q3, but we still qualified 11th, which was a real strong effort. You know, everyone in the team was happy with that. Yeah, we were ahead of some of our key championship rivals, but the main thing is that we've now got a race car underneath us, which gives us a fighting chance going into Sunday. You know, something that I can get my teeth stuck into a battle with and actually try and make some progress, rather than just trying to hang on and keep it on the circuit, which is where I was at Donington and Knockhill.
We begin the final 2 events of the season here in Northamptonshire at the world-famous Silverstone. Today we're on the short national circuit, which is 1.64 miles in distance, with long straights and 6 iconic corners primed for opportunities to overtake. What will go down today in this thrilling championship battle? Let's find out.
Race 1 came, and we made a solid start.
Round 25 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship from Silverstone. It is blast off with a good getaway by De Leon. Not a great start by Josh Cook. Good launch also made.
We was having a really good race. You know, we was in the fight. I remember making a couple of positions up early on, and we were battling some really fast cars. You know, we were battling some of the Hyundais, a couple of the Fords.
Line and Tom Ingram is ahead of him, and that is absolutely vital for him. So Ingram is making progress now as he comes through ahead of Sutton. You've also got the Charles Rainford BMW in the mix as well. You've got Mikey Doble. Now Doble's situation, of course, matters relative to Lloyd and Smiley because they are all fighting for independent championship on.
You know, I had Ash Sutton and Tom Ingram around me. You know, we was in good company, and just having a solid race. I thought, right, let's just bring this home, finish around where we were running, 10th, 11th, and then go on from there.
This is another good scrap coming wide out of Cops Corner. Mikey Doble there. All of that is round about 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th places. In and amongst it, Doble, Chiltern, Rainford.
And unfortunately, we came across a bit of a wounded Daryl De Leon. So he backed me back into a little bit of a difficult situation. And then unfortunately, through Luffield corner, the penultimate corner at Silverstone, I was just, again, the meat in the sandwich, nothing I could do about it, and some heavy contact from Chiltern behind resulted in a broken right rear toe link. So that forced us into a pit stop and to finish the race multiple laps down.
So damage perhaps sustained after that bit of contact up at Luffield. The car did look a little crab-like when it came through. So Mikey Doble's independent hopes take a knock.
Yeah, that was a tough blow to take, tough blow to the championship. We finished enough of the laps to classify ourselves in the race, so we completed enough of the distance to still score points. It was still worth patching the car back up and going out and finishing the race. Yeah, I mean, race 2 was a real strong race for us because it was the best the car had felt to me since we'd had the Cupra. I had a good enough race car underneath me to actually make some good progress and overtake some of the people that we weren't necessarily beating when we first got the Cupra. So it was a carnage race, as you'd come to expect in the touring cars. You know, there was lots of close racing, plenty of overtaking going on.
This is round 26, and it is go with a good start made by Hill, as you would anticipate in the BMW. And Chiltern gets stuck into Rainford and knocks him sideways, and Chiltern has done damage to the car and he's in the gravel. And that, after a peach of a move earlier on in the lap, ends up with a puncture and broken suspension, and Chiltern is out.
And someone's bonnet's up as well. That was Zach Morgan.
I think you're right. Adam Morgan's Team Virtue Hyundai. Visibility is limited as he comes down towards Brooklyn. So Adam Morgan is heading for the pit lane. And Rowbottom with the indicator on. It's not to let his teammate pass this time. It's because he's got a problem. So that's one Napa Ford that didn't start and another Napa Ford that is looking like he's going to...
I fought my way up to P11 in that race, which wasn't only a fantastic finishing position, but also it put us in the reverse grid draw for race 3. So number 12 got drawn out the Lottery Bowl, so Sam Osborne, who finished P12, was now looking at a pole position for race 3, and I was starting alongside him, so that really made the fight in race 2 worthwhile, you know, taking risk and putting everything on the line to make a few extra positions, because it gave us a front row start for race 3. So race 3, look, we were starting on the front row, but this is the first time that we've kind of been able to test ourselves against the best cars in the series by starting that high up in the Cupra.
A fantastic opportunity to capitalise and make good points. I was just talking to Peter Jones from Restart Racing, and he was paying tribute to you and the team for the fact that despite all the travails and troubles you've had this season, you're just not giving up, are you?
Well, we're not here to just go round, you know, we want to be as competitive as we can in the relatively short time we're going to have with this car. So, yeah, we've thrown the kitchen sink at it, and, you know, hopefully I can reward everyone that's put so much hard work and effort into this car with some sort of a trophy in this race.
It is now round 27 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship from Silverstone, and it is go, and it's a good getaway from the BMW of Aidan Moffat that lines up fifth on the grid, and Charles Rainford is away rapidly up against the pit wall as Sam Osborne leads by about 3 lengths into Copse. Time drama at Copse then.
Yeah, but a good start by Sam Osborne as out onto the grass is further damage there. I was going to say that's Dan Lloyd. So his weekend's unravelled quickly on this last race.
So, I mean, we weren't fast enough to stay there, but luckily for me, a lot of the other independent cars had trouble early on in the race and were at the back of the pack. So I couldn't embroil myself too much in trying to slow myself down battling cars that were inevitably going to overtake me, because that would then endanger me against the other independent cars and maybe lure me back into a dangerous position. So I just ran my race.
To second now, clearing Mikey Doble. So could there be a Speedworks Toyota win on the cards here? The way that Cookie is charging along, he goes over the timing line now, 1.4 seconds back from Sam Osborne, who, remember, has not ever had a touring car from the Restart Racing Hyundais. And this is Sutton's view. Tom Ingram getting in on the act as well. So Mikey Doble has been shuffled back to 6th, and Ingram is through, in fact, on the inside. So Doble is now 7th. Sutton is 4th. Is Adam Morgan ahead of Chilton. Camish will get 9th and Doble 10th with penalties being applied.
Ultimately, we maximised the car we had in that race and finished P10, but crucially with an independent win. And that was the first trophy that we'd got in the Cupra, so it was a real nice moment for me and the team. Being able to go onto the podium truck on the circuit at Silverstone. It was a lovely day, you know, loads of fans there, it was really busy. Just a real nice atmosphere, and it was just the kick we needed going into Brands Hatch for the finale.
It is for the winning independent driver for round 27, the winning independent driver, Mikey Doble. Well done, Mikey. 6th independent win of the year. Up the podium steps he comes, a wave to the crowd, and congratulations Charles Rainford and Pete Osborne, and Mickey gives him the trophy. The winning independent driver for round 27, Mikey Doble, everybody, well done. And now on to the top 3 drivers.
I mean, at Silverstone, it's worth mentioning, Dan Lloyd had a mega day by picking up the overall race win in race 1, which was a great moment for him and his team, because that was the first win that Restart Racing had. So for me, it wasn't realistic to try and measure myself against him while he's fighting for overall wins that day. It was more a case of just maximising what we had. So then to come away with an independent win meant that we were going to be, yes, on the back foot a little bit in terms of out and out pace going into Brands Hatch, but we were still within reaching distance if something went wrong. And, you know, anything could happen. So we were really kind of chomping at the bit to get going at Brands and see what we could do. The final meeting of the year is always a spectacle. It's the meeting where the champions are crowned. So we're here at Brands GP for the final race of the 2025 British Touring Car season. This, for me, is my absolute favourite meeting of the year. It's the meeting that all aspiring touring car drivers always dream of racing at. And to be here for 2 years in a row in contention for another title is just, it's an absolute privilege, really. So we're going to throw the kitchen sink at it. I'm confident about our position. I think we're going to be in for a shout, no matter what's thrown at us. So it's going to be an exciting weekend. We've got what we got. We're going to make the best of it. I can't wait to get going.
My biggest thing is just to make sure the car doesn't let Mikey down. Just to make sure that car is perfect for Mikey and make sure he can drive it and attack it the way he wants to.
We look forward to it all season because it's the championship showdown. The downside is the season is coming to an end. Welcome to Brands Hatch. It's finals weekend of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship. Our final qualifying session of the season coming up on the full Grand Prix circuit here.
And going into qualifying, my only goal really was to try and out-qualify my independent rivals and get out of Q1. We failed to do both of those.
Mikey Doble's qualifying is over. and he will bring the car back to the Motor Parts Direct with Power Max Racing team.
What it did produce was a setup where you had the 3 independent cars who we're all separated by only 8 points, back to back to back on the grid. So going into Sunday, it meant that I could be on full attack in race 1 to try and get ahead of them.
So a fantastic 10-weekend season nears the finish line here at Brands Hatch. This unique Grand Prix circuit is a natural amphitheatre offering unrivaled views and vantage points for fans to view what could be a final day of heartbreak and heroics. Round 28, 29 and 30 are coming up with so much still to be decided.
Good morning everyone, it's here Sunday morning here at Brands Hatch. I'm extremely excited today to get underway for these 3 races. We've got the Independence fight, which looks like it's going to go right down to the wire.
We've got Dan Lloyd, Mikey Doble and Chris Smiley at the moment, just 13 points in it, so it is going to be tight at the top.
I feel a bit sorry for Mikey Doble in this fight because obviously Power Max lost all their cars and everything else halfway through the year, so he's really had a tough season. But it's still a close-fought battle.
Round 28 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship. 15 laps are ahead of us.
Good luck, mate. See you on the other side. So full send, full attack.
Let's go red. Let's get race day underway because the engine notes rise, the lights go out, we go racing.
11 laps to go, 11 laps to go. Osborne, 5 laps of hybrid.
And Dan Lloyd is already 8th from 15th on the grid on the soft tyres.
Go, 5 to go. That's checker flag, P14, P14.
It was us that came out struggling, to be honest. You know, we gave it our all in race 1, but we failed to make any more positions up from where we started, really, independent-wise anyway, and ended up finishing P3 independents with a bit of a mountain to climb later on. Dan managed to get himself a good finishing position in race 1 and was actually starting up inside the top 10. Fortunately for me, he got some damage from contact from another competitor early on in race 2. So actually it was very soon in the race that I saw him coming back towards me, and then there he was. I managed to get to the back of Dan Lloyd, and then yes, it was quite robust, but in robust fashion I managed to get my way past him, which was crucial for the championship because it meant at least it would give me a fighting chance going into race 3. So it was set to be another touring car classic where the championship was going down to the wire. Race 3, it was pretty simple. You know, I had to beat my rivals and hope that they had a bit of bad luck. So I was going to try and do everything I could to make all of that reality. You know, I was going to be a nightmare for them.
So we've still got this battle on, which we've been loving watching over the course of the season, particularly in the final few rounds between Dan Lloyd, Mikey Doble and Chris Smiley.
Yeah, that's been raging on. We thought it'd be maybe wrapped up a little bit early on, but it's coming down to the final race.
To the grid they come then, fans getting the best vantage point they can around the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. The light is starting to fade.
If it ain't our day today, then we'll come back stronger, but I just want to say my thanks to everyone for putting it going the extra mile to keep the sharp road, keeping us competitive, so that's a good last race.
Field are back then. Everybody looks towards the lighting gantry for one last time. Let's go racing in the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship.
Through goes Doble and Patterson on the left.
Towards Hawthorne, Darrell de Leon comes through on the inside.
Adam said it worth battling fighting to Buxton.
Yeah, you don't think he's trying to slow up deliberately just to cause a bit of potential problem for Dan Lloyd, do you?
Here though is Dan Lloyd coming over the line to try to have a go at Mikey Doble on the outside line up towards Paddock. They almost touch there. Dan on the outside wants that switchback, wants the undercut coming up towards Druids, but Doble fends him off and instantly dives to the inside. And now look, Hamilton has got ahead of Max Buxton. So Dan Lloyd to the outside, Nick Hamilton to the inside. Now, Hamilton, don't forget, is an independent. He's on the soft tyre, but Dan Lloyd can't afford to let him by. He can't afford to be throwing away points. Doble locks up. Dan Lloyd might be being a bit overcautious in all of this, and Hamilton round the outside to gain the place. Fantastic! Mikey Doble is going to be third in the independents. Fourth is going to be Nick Hamilton.
Checker flag. Lloyd has got your second, mate. Good job there, though, mate. Amazing job, though.
It was a war. You know, we were side by side on more than one occasion. As much as I tried to make life difficult for them, they survived it and they came out the winner. All the team came out to the car, you know, they were all clapping as I came in, you know, we all gave each other a hug, you know, it was still a real nice moment, and it wasn't our year, you know, we didn't get to win the championship that we'd set out to win.
Mike is the kind of guy that would say sorry, you know, I tried my hardest, and you know, and I'm the kind of guy that would reply with, "Don't be silly," you know. It is what it is. It's you know, we made the best of the cards that we were dealt. So.
Hello guys, it is. Thank you very much. We were going any more with that, unfortunately. Now, we're going to win the race, guys, but who's done it tonight? Yeah. Anyway, good drive, mate.
Could you have called the season a success? I'd say it's definitely going to be a season to remember.
You did all you could. Right. You backed it right up. I'll thank you someone. Yeah. You did the race really well. I did what I could, mate. Some people have done really well. Yeah, but never mind. Always next year.
I don't think anyone could have expected us to achieve more than we did. With everything that went on halfway through the season and losing our equipment and losing our Astra, and you know, we gave it a bloody good go. That's it, 2025 is done. Wasn't quite our year in the end. We fell a little bit short on the independents, but for those who watched the race will see that it wasn't for the want of trying. I did everything I could and some, so loved every minute of the year. It's been fantastic, and also been great putting the awesome content out for you guys to follow our progress on the weekend. So thanks to Superhub, my new media partner, for taking control of those things. It's been awesome, and yeah, we'll see what the off season has in store for us.
I told you I'm coming, bro. Yeah. Backed up, one half, back to one.
Very nice to know you.
Doing the double hug.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much. Sorry. I'm coming in. I think that's the last race I'm ever going to have in the Cupra. I think a lot of people have said to me, had we have had the Astras all season, that the championship probably would have been ours. But I guess we'll just never know.
So there was a particular song that you wanted us to
Oh, don't tell him that. I think it's Devotion. Is it by Nomad?
You got this, you know what to do.
Victory in the British Touring Car Championship. Mikey Doble wins for the first time in the Btcc.
Mikey Doble, yes, any race winner. He said the Aston didn't have any more life in the race. Take a job, everyone, take a job.
So are you going racing next year?
Well, we'll have to find out. I'll definitely be racing something. That could comprise of a Ford Fiesta or a Citroen C1, or it could be a British touring car. I sincerely hope it's the latter.